Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Well, I know it has been a while since I had a chance to talk to y'all. I mean, you had the holidays and I was traveling. I work for the most amazing organization in the world. So, I get to move about the world. I get to move about the country. We had an election that didn't quite go the way we had hoped. In fact, it was worse than we thought it was going to be. We assumed that some folks would recognize that a 34-time convicted felon shouldn't be president of the United States. We thought that people would understand that someone who was found liable of rape should not be president of the United States. We thought these things were going to happen, but unfortunately, we have a segment of our society that believe that, honestly, you could talk about voter engagement, voter contact, how much money people will raise. There were people who voted for somebody that raped women. I don't think there's enough amount of touching of voters out there to counteract the 70 million plus people that thought that, an insurrection was something to overlook. So, no, we didn't get the president we wanted. We sure as heck didn't get the governor of the state house that we wanted. I mean, Micah Beckwith, oh my God, the word I don't understand. He got dissed in Fishers. They was like, please don't come to our school. But he cried and banged his fist on the table enough that they decided to let him come back to the school after all. Big whiny baby. I ain't never seen such spineless humans in my life as the men in the Republican Party. Just spineless. So I haven't talked to y'all since before the election. I want to tip the hat to Vice President Harris. I mean, if nothing else, for 100 days, she gave us hope. And she allowed us to dream again. And she made us believe that America was going to live up to its values. And hey, that debate was fun. She made him stumble over himself and made him accuse people of eating animals and things like that. So that's what happened. We lost. And I recognize right now there are a whole bunch of y'all running around doing a postmortem. I have thoughts on it. I'll share them later. So here we are in the 8th season of Turn Left. So Happy New Year. And yeah, we've been doing this for 8 years. Now, this year we don't have any elections, so it's going to be a little bit different this go round. I'm going to try to do some partnerships with some of my other podcasters, and we're going to highlight some of the things that are happening in the State House so that you guys can be aware of what's going on. And then as we maybe I'll cross my fingers. I know we have reorg going on, so maybe I'll get a chance to talk to some of the candidates that are looking to lead our party. Maybe. I've already interviewed all of them before, so maybe they'll just kind of holler at your girl anyway. I have opinions about that and the direction that our party should go in. I had opinions in 2021, which is probably why they didn't ask me to come back to be the deputy chair of engagement. Whatever. So we're going to do some things different. We might even also highlight some organizations that are doing some work around the state. So this is a reorg year. Because we don't have elections, this is an opportunity for us to get to know each other, find out who's doing what, where, get connected, share information, build our bench, and just get excited. I already know for a fact that I'm going to be talking about what the process looks like. I'm going to be interviewing our executive director, Dana Colbert, the Cooler Dana, to talk about processes. But this year will be a little different. Like I said, I don't have any candidates to talk to this year, but that doesn't mean Turn Left is not going to be coming to you once a week. And some shows may not be live. Some of them may be pre-recorded because, again, I do work for the most amazing organization on the planet, and sometimes I will travel. So because I'll travel, some of the shows will be recorded. Y'all cool with that? But most importantly, we're still going to bring you what the heck is going on in Indiana. So first up, I do want to acknowledge, I'm trying to do things better. I'm trying to give you some visuals while I talk so you know what's going on. Congratulations to the Indiana Stonewall new executive officers. Veronica Pedro is the president. Keith Potts is the vice president. Annette Gross, longtime ally and mom of our community, is going to be the secretary. And good old Russ Sipes will be counting the money. Nobody wants that job. Nobody wants it. So Russ, yay for standing up and taking it again. We do not want to be held responsible. That's why you do it, and you do it very well. So congratulations to the team who will be taking over Stonewall. It's nice to see that we have folks that are still wanting to get engaged. However, I've got some folks I need to reach out to, like Sarah Scheidel and some other folks who wanted to get involved with Stonewall. And I'm going to bring you guys in. This is a good time to bring some more people in. As you guys know, they are constantly attacking our LGBTQ plus community. They already have written multiple anti-trans bills. That a little bit. In fact, let me just go ahead and talk about it now. So they have an anti-trans bill out there right now that highlights they want to ban trans athletes in our colleges and universities because we know so many, none, want to participate. There's not that many. But here's my thing. I'm gonna let that go to the side for now. I want to talk about the fact that I was at Victory. You know, you guys know I go to Victory every December. I was at Victory this December, and they had a wonderful panel on intersexed people. It was a panel full of intersexed people with varying degrees of it being intersexed. And they talked about how as intersex people, often as infants, toddlers, and young children, they are given non-consensual, medically unnecessary cosmetic surgery on their bodies at the persuasion of the doctor trying to convince parents that, oh my goodness, if you do not do this thing, your child is going to have a hard time in life. What? And so the parent, listening to the doctor, the expert, then allows the doctor to do this non-consensual, medically unnecessary cosmetic surgery on these intersexed children, infant children, and young adults. So here's the deal. This is what the intersex community is telling us. When you have these medically unnecessary, non-consensual cosmetic surgeries on these infants, toddlers, and children, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. You flip a coin. You might get it right and you might not. So in my opinion, before we pass any more anti-trans bills, we need to ban medically unnecessary, non-consensual cosmetic surgery on infants, toddlers, and young children. Because these trans bills always want to say you have to be the gender that you are assigned at birth. And because the doctor may have gotten it wrong, we're going to punish them 15 years down the road with this anti-trans legislation. The intersex community is telling us when you do these medically unnecessary, non-consensual cosmetic surgery on infants, toddlers, and children, you are increasing the number of people who will later identify as transgender because you got it wrong. And because the doctor got it wrong, we have legislation now that will penalize them when they're 15, 16, 17 years old. In many cases, the young people grow up to be adults and don't even know that they are intersexed until they try to have children. They didn't know. Nobody told them. Nobody told them that they were intersexed. Interact is a website. I'll attach it to the show that you guys can go visit and hear their stories. But in the meantime, our state legislatures are still trying to pass more anti-trans legislation when we know that more than likely somebody flipped a coin, decided, okay, the genitalia may or may not look like this, or the testes have not been distended or whatever, and then got it wrong. Got it wrong. So if we discriminate against somebody that didn't even have a choice, well, none of these kids really do. Nobody has a choice. I didn't have a choice in being a lesbian. I just was born that way. But we are also tax-paying citizens, and I'm really sick and tired of people writing legislation that looks to delegitimize my existence. Okay. And that is what Stonewall is all about. That is why we are here. So congratulations to our new leadership. But I want you guys to mark your calendars and save the date, because Thursday, February 13th at 5:30 p.m. at the Firefighters Union Hall, we will be hosting our, I think it's the fourth annual Love is Love. This is a huge fundraiser that we raise the money so that we can support the candidates that support our communities. And because we don't have an election this year, we'll be able to just store that money, and we'll be able to help those candidates who begin to announce their candidacies later in the summer or in the early fall for the midterms for the 2026 elections. So guys, come on out. It's a good way to meet some folks. It's a good way to get connected, find out what's going on, how you can get involved. There's lots of fun things to do. We usually have some food, some entertainment, DJ, Indiana Zone will be there. I am so not a DJ. I just want y'all to know I just play music. But we will all be there celebrating, and we also will be awarding our Champions Award. Super excited about that. In fact, the recipient is somebody that is really near and dear to me, so I cannot wait for you all when that announcement comes out about who our Champions Award winner is. So please, please come out to our Stonewall Love is Love event on February the 13th. All right. So General Assembly is underway. And as I mentioned, there are a lot of bills that are coming through. So maybe we need to find out. I think you guys need to know who our leadership is in both the House and the Senate. I think it's important so you know who to contact when things are not going well. These are our Democratic leaders. Okay, I know there was some mess in the Senate late last year. I commented on Senator Taylor on Wish TV. I am not going to keep hashing it and dragging it through. He will have to deal with that, him and his family, whatever that looks like. But we have leadership. Okay, so our Minority Caucus leadership is the fabulous and wonderful Shelley Yoder out of Bloomington. And the assistant minority leader is Andrea Hunley from right here in Indianapolis. And our Minority Caucus chair is Rodney Pohl up from the region. All great individuals. I think they will be strong advocates for us in the state Senate. Of course, we have new members in the state Senate. Congratulations to Lakeisha Jackson, Senator Lakeisha Jackson, who is now my new state senator. I cannot wait to interview her on Turn Left. One of the goals of Turn Left will be this year to find out what happened during the week of session, and we will bring those to you on Thursday. So here are your Senate leaders. People know who they are, find out who they are. But of course, if you want to get even closer, find out who your elected official is so that you can stay in contact with them. All right, let's take a look at our House leaders. House leaders are, of course, Phil Giaquinta out of Fort Wayne, who is the Minority Democratic House leader. Congratulations, Tanya Paff, she's out of the Terre Haute area, who is the assistant leader. Right here in Indianapolis, Cherish Pryor is the floor leader. Congratulations to her. And Earl Harris up from the region is the assistant floor leader. So, and Earl is our only, him and Ronnie Pohl represent not only Black folk, but also the Latino community. So we want to make sure that you understand that all of our communities are being represented. But these are the leaders. This is the leadership. They will be the ones that will be fighting for us. And unfortunately, there seems to be an awful lot for us to fight for right now. So let's get into it. So I had a chance to, Monday, the ISTA had a Zoom call, and there were probably 250 people on that call. And they were highlighting some bills. But of course, the main bill that has everybody up in arms, and particularly me, I'm really having an issue with HB 1136, right? So Teshka out of South Bend, Republican, has introduced this bill that says it requires that if more than 50% of students who have legal settlement in a school corporation were enrolled in a school that is not operated by the school corporation in 2024 fall, then the school will be dissolved. What does that mean? What does that mean? What it means is if 50% of the students who live, say, in, IPS aren't attending IPS schools, then IPS will be dissolved. They're going to do away with the whole public school system. That means they were going to do away with the school board, the elected school board, I might add. People that you went to the polls in Marion County to vote for, they're going to get rid of them. And it's not just Marion County, Lake County too. So Gary literally just kicked the state out of their school system, but now there's literally trying to dissolve the public school system. Now, my question is this, and maybe somebody can answer this for me. If 50% of the students don't go to the charters, will they dissolve the charter schools? Of course not. Of course not. This is not what's happening. First of all, this has never, ever been about school choice, parental school choice. It was never about that. It was a money grab because they do not care about lower income and minority communities getting free public education. They don't want us to be educated. They don't want us to. It's never been about that. Because if it was about school choice, then why are you forcibly removing one of the options in the choices? This bill is horrific. Couple of things that will happen if this thing passes. They will do away with teachers' unions. Now, I know a lot of y'all be like, teachers' unions, blah, blah, blah. Listen, every profession has the right to organize. And in a state where we are not paying our teachers at a level with the rest of the country, hell yeah, they need to organize. Secondly, again, this was never about what the student needs. Because think about it, vouchers, you can make over $240,000 and get vouchers. Now, here's the thing. If you want to send your kid to a prestigious private school, and all you're getting is the voucher, you're not going to be able to send them there. You're just not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to afford it, right? And voucher schools and charter schools don't have to take every student. They get to pick and choose which students will be in their schools. Y'all, this was never about choice. This was always about redistribution of wealth. This was always about all that money that is going into those black, brown, and, poor communities to get education. Yo, I could be giving that to my homies. My charter school. Do you know, I've heard stories that some of these charter school executives spend money on elaborate vacations and things of that nature. That money should be going to the kids. And how many more stories do we have to hear about online schools stealing our money in the tune of millions of dollars? No, IPS and public schools are not perfect, but the money goes to the student. Now, could they make some improvements? Absolutely. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but the bottom line is IPS and other public schools will continue to suffer as we continue to divest money from public education and make it just available to a select few. And here's the hoo-ha. The funny part to me is going online and watching Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk try to tell all these maggots, well, they're the H-1B visas that they're using to replace American workers is necessary because Americans are too dumb for the jobs. That was comedy to the core. That did something to my insides watching these clowns fight over H-1B visas. I mean, maybe Tucker Carlson was right. There is a great replacement theory, but it ain't by Democrats. It's by Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and all the other tech bros. They thought it wasn't their brown people that the racists hated. That was funny. I had a good laugh about that. But here's the deal. How are you going to have an educated society when you continue to limit who actually can get access to quality education? So, yeah. And mind you, the diploma requirements mean that you have to go to work at 16 and 17. Indiana is on the race to the bottom when it comes to the quality of education. Unfortunately, I can't seem to get people to understand that, yes, and in Marion County, we have school choice. And mind you, they're taking one of the choices away with this particular bill, right? With that bill. They're taking one of the choices away. But if you're in rural Indiana, you don't have any choice. You have one school corporation and maybe a Catholic school. That's all you get. So the dumbing down of Indiana is underway. And the next step is to say, ain't nobody that don't go to charter school get no money. They are literally going to take your ability to go to a relatively free public school to get for your kid. If that's your choice, you don't get that choice. You don't get it. And it was never about choice anyway. All right. That one was a hot topic, obviously. I've been seeing it all over social media. I've commented on it. A lot of other people have commented on it. But 1136, if you think that public education should remain at the local level and the state house should get out of the business of telling what local communities should do with their public schools, call your people. Call Teshka. Let his punk behind know. South Bend, get out. Get out of Indianapolis. Get out of Gary. It's always, and I'm going to say this and y'all can be mad at me. It's always white people always trying to tell black and brown people what to do. Gets under my nerves. Gets under my nerves. All right. They have a couple of more bills that they talked about that they were in support of and maybe not in support of. HB 1045 includes school social workers and school psychologists in the definition of teacher for purpose of requirement for school corporations to expend a certain percentage amount of state tuition support on teachers' compensation. So basically they're saying, yes, they want these folks, they need these social workers in the schools. I get that. But if you remember last year, they were trying to make clergy. I have problems with that. But ISTA is supporting this bill, but percentage thresholds need to be increased. That's what they are saying. So look out for 1045. If you have more questions about that, feel free to reach out to the ISTA, sign up for their newsletter. My good friend, John Bartlett from right here, Indianapolis, he has proposed HB 1046, requires the Governor Supplier Diversity Commission, the Commission for Higher Education, and the Budget Committee to review each state educational institution's annual report regarding certain supplier diversity. I think this is a great bill. ISTA supports that bill. I know that y'all saw where McDonald's and all these other people are like, we're doing away with our DEI. Child, please. Y'all better be diversified. And if you don't hold on to this diversity, you won't even be your little small business that you want to partner with other people. They be like, forget it. I'm just going to give it to my homies. I mean, what? Yeah. They keep trying to X us out of this thing, right? They keep trying to X us out of this process of being involved and being engaged. Yo, we should be able to be a part of it. And yes, when you know that your boy is only going to hire the people he knows and he's going to exclude women, black folk, Hispanic folks, LGBTQ plus folks, veterans, and so on and so forth. Yeah, you need to put a requirement in there because they won't do it otherwise. They won't do it. You got to make them. So love this bill. Hopefully it'll get a hearing. Doubt it. Oh, by the way, 1136 is in the education committees, so you guys need to keep an eye out on that. I know I will. All right. More HB 1064 by Criswell, Republican from Middletown, requires school corporations to allow cash payment for goods at school athletic events. They're kind of neutral on that. I don't think there should be anything wrong with paying cash, but I think there ought to be a place for me to tap because I don't carry cash. So if you want me to come to your sporting event and buy something, you better have a card. And then our good assistant floor leader Harris has introduced a tuition cap, provides that this is a 1069, provides that the Commission for Higher Education shall determine a tuition rate and mandatory fee costs for living adjustment for specified post-secondary educational institutions, requires that fees at specified post-secondary education institutions may not increase from the time the student initially enrolls until the student graduates. I like this bill. I know that ISTA is neutral on it, and I get it because inflation and things cost, blah, blah, blah. But if I had to sign up in 2024 to go to your university, I would like for the tuition to stay the same until I graduate 4 years later. I think it's great. Then you know what to expect. I love that. I love that bill. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. I'm not sure how universities feel about it, but I mean, lock me in at 4 years. You can increase the tuition rate on the next incoming class if you want to. There's always more students. So let me stay where I'm at. I like this bill. All right. There's a few more. HB, wait a minute, wrong. Yeah, HB 1089 by my good friend, Ms. Garcia Wilburn, high volume workforce ready credit bearing grant. Provides that a workforce ready credit bearing grant may be used for cost of enrollment in an English as a new language program. Of course, I think that's great. For our new immigrant folks that are coming over here, language barriers can prevent you from getting opportunities. So, hey, let me learn the language so that I can be the best prepared I can for whatever opportunities that will come my way. I like it. Congratulations. I hope it gets a hearing. And then 1102 preschool removes language restricting school corporations from entering into a contract with a religiously affiliated nonprofit preschool program. Okay, so the ISTA opposes this bill, removes language restricting school corporations from entering into a contract with a religiously affiliated nonprofit preschool program, removes language restricting school corporations. That's interesting. I would probably like a little bit more input on this one. I'm a little confused about it because the language has got me a little, I'm not so sure. Maybe if you guys are watching, maybe you guys can chime in on this and let me know, the location is, the location for the event is at the Firefighters Union Hall. For the Love is Love. Okay, guys, if you can chime in on this 1102, I have a feeling that they're saying if it's a publicly funded with tax dollars, they can't use those tax dollars to be religiously affiliated. Or they're saying that you would allow them to use the money for religious organizations. I understand why they oppose it now. I think as I talk my way through it, I think I'm okay with this opposing this bill as well, because basically our tax dollars shouldn't go to fund religious institutions. They just shouldn't. If you want to send your kid to a religious organization, you pay for it. My tax dollars shouldn't, especially when they discriminate against people like me. And it's my tax dollars. I'd be glad when they figure out how to carve out the gay money from the straight money and then give me my gay money back, since you want to, discriminate against me all the time. All right, let's take a look at some Senate bills. Again, these are all the things that we talked about at that ISTA meeting on Monday. So Lonnie Randolph from East Chicago, Shelley Yoder, suspension and expulsions allows that a student may be suspended or expelled only upon determining that the student's suspension or expulsion will prevent or subsequently reduce the risk of interference, like that. In the case of expulsion, determination that all other available and appropriate disciplinary behavior interventions have been exhausted. So basically this is saying, you just can't kick kids out of school. And one thing we know for certain is that Black and brown kids are disproportionately suspended and expelled from school. This makes it so, you got to go through everything. Now, I do recognize that there are some kids that are real problematic. But this says, let's go through all the steps to find out what is going on with the kid. Why the kid acting that way? What can we do to improve the kid's quality of life versus just kicking them out? Because if you just kick them out, what is their future going to look like? So I'm going to be honest with you. Shelley Yoder's name was on it, so I was going to be for it anyway. But yes, it does make sense because we are really sick and tired of kicking kids out of school. Right? Good job, Lonnie and Shelley. Like it. Okay. What did I just do? Oop. Okay. SB 34 reduces literacy endorsement wait a minute, reduces the literacy endorsement professional development requirements established by IDOE from 80 to 60 hours. Okay, I like this. I think this is for teachers and practitioners, because we heard from teachers like, yo, I mean, I got to go get this certification. I got to do all this. Now you're making me do fire drills and gun safety drills and have guns in school and all this other. Now I got to go take all these hours of extra training. I get it. You still need refreshers, but it just cuts it down and makes it more manageable. I kind of like this. Not a bad thing. Every now and then Republicans get some things right. All right. Next, we have SB 35. School curriculum. This is an inevitable. Cursive writing is back. It doesn't ever get a hearing, so I'm going to bypass that one. And school counselors. School year requires that schools shall ensure that at least 60% of the school counselors aggregate time performing the counselor's job duties is devoted to providing direct services to the students. That's actually pretty good, because a lot of times kids will be able to go in and talk to the counselors and say things to them that they can't say to their parents, where they don't feel comfortable with. So this is actually not a bad bill. The cursive writing thing, it ain't going nowhere. I'll be honest, I don't cursive write, I type. I don't very seldom write. I'm a computer geek, I type. All right, here's some other things that they highlighted in the meeting, rumors. They have bills, revenue forecasts, and Medicaid situation. They're looking at that. Obviously, property taxes is a huge one. Social Security is huge. Partisan school board elections, that didn't go over so well. It's interesting, because it seems like Republicans don't like it either. And I can understand why, because there are some school board members who are on some of our public school boards who are actually, they shouldn't be there. And you can always tell who they are by who donated to their campaigns. I'm just saying. Limit on referenda and fall general election, more privatization, changes in school transportation, teacher compensation. Look, the governor-elect said he's going to deal with that. I'm not so sure. We'll see, because it seems like why would you want to pay teachers for them to be highly skilled and highly trained so they can educate the society when you're just going to get rid of IPS schools anyway? You're just going to get rid of public schools, all charter. I just don't understand that. And of course, a lot of deregulation. So those are some of the things that they talked about at ISTA. There was one other bill that I wanted to talk about real quick. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. I reposted it on Twitter as it was being highlighted on WRTV. And it's quite crazy, actually. It is a ban on, it makes it illegal, a felony, to possess anti-abortion medication or abortion medication. As WRTV breaks it down, and I do forget the number. I think it's SB 178. I will have to look it up. I apologize. But they're creating a ban on your ability to access abortion medication here in Indianapolis or Indiana. Here are some key provisions to that bill, and I'm going to look that bill up. A ban on all abortion-inducing drugs. There are no exceptions to this ban for rape, incest, or preserving the life of the mother. Makes it a crime to possess or prescribe an abortion-inducing drug in Indiana. It starts out as a misdemeanor, but elevates to a felony if there is a prior conviction of the same crime. If a woman seeks an abortion under the rape or incest exceptions to Indiana's abortion ban, she must provide a signed affidavit to a doctor. The bill says that if the woman lies in this affidavit, she can be prosecuted for perjury. They just be all up in women's business. So I got to be violated and then be violated again. Makes it illegal for Indiana nonprofits to help with the cost of an abortion-inducing drug. Lets Attorney General Todd Rokita, the worst Attorney General on the planet, prosecute someone if the local prosecutors don't want to. Bans insurance plans in Indiana from providing abortion. What is this? I need to find out what this bill. Hang on, y'all. IGA. All right, what is this bill? Because I'm going to type it in. Have you guys ever been to iga.in.gov? I'm telling you, it is where you find 171. I was real close. It's Senate Bill 171 that is planning to, and it's introduced by Senator Mike Young. And the whole goal is to restrict your ability to get the abortion medication if you need it. Now, here's the thing. I guess I want to know how they're going to find out if you actually ordered it. Are they going to be like monitoring, our internet usage? Are they going to be monitoring our phone calls? Or how are they going to find out I ordered medication? How you going to know? Are you going to tap my phone, tap my fiber? You're going to surveil me to find out whether or not I'm buying abortion medication? Ain't nobody else bothered by this? I know y'all are. I know my people are like, yo, this crazy. But this is what they're doing, y'all. They want to limit your rights. They don't want you to be educated. They don't want to raise the minimum wage. They don't want to deal with health care. None of those things. So this is the state we live in. This is the state we live in. And so I want to go back to, after we've gone through those bills, and there's obviously more bills that we'll talk about in weeks to come. But obviously the big ones were the education bills. So I wanted to go ahead and get those out of the way so that you guys are aware of them, and where the ISTA is, what the ISTA is thinking and where their heads are at. But here's the thing. And I wrote about it in IBJ. And I will be talking about this until reorg. So if any of the candidates that want to be either district chairs or state party chair want to come on and share their vision for our party, I am all in. I'm all for it. And let's talk about it. But there's one thing that I find interesting. So most people, I'm going to say most people because not everybody. Most people recognize that the vast majority of our Democratic Party voters are in urban centers. We always want to reach out to every part of the state to engage people. I am never the one to say that we shouldn't engage with all parts of Indiana, all 92 counties. My moniker is Indiana's own, not Indianapolis's own, Indiana's own, because I believe in reaching out to all 92 counties. But one of the things that we all must be able to do in order to be successful and understand how all of this works is we must be able to count. Huh? What are you saying, Dana? Look, I wish we could convince maggots to vote for us. They won't. They won't ever. And I wish there were more people in the middle. Ain't that many people in the middle? Ain't that many? So whomever would like to run our party in the future, I hope you recognize it is imperative that you talk about the things that matter to the base. I talked to my sister one day and she said her brother just stayed home. He was like, they not talking to me. Mary Noon, I'm going to definitely have Mary Noon on because I love how we talk about what's going on. Mary Noon is always full of data. She has information. And it wasn't that we lost because Democrats voted Republican. We lost because Democrats stayed home. There's y'all. And if you can't hear what I'm saying and all you want to do is, well, Marion County, we shouldn't center everything in Marion County. We need to talk about rural. You're not listening. You don't want to listen. You all in your feelings and you're contributing to the problem. The facts are the facts. 29.9% of Marion County is black. 29.9% of Marion County is black. And truth be told, men, women, non-binary, black folk overwhelmingly vote Democratic. Why wouldn't you want to talk to them? Why wouldn't you want to get them energized? Why wouldn't you want them to be engaged? Why wouldn't you want to tell them to tell their friends? Why wouldn't you want to fire them up? Why wouldn't you want to speak to the issues that matter to them in their communities? You can't just expect to show up talking about, well, you know, I need to look out for rural Indiana and not say shit to black folks in Indianapolis, Gary, Fort Wayne, Vanderburgh County, or St. Joe. It just ain't going to work. You're not going to get what you need. We know that there are Democrats in all 92 counties. We know this. But you will never get enough of Democrats in those counties to offset all of the Republicans. You have to have a massive turnout in Democratic strongholds. And that is multifaceted. There's not one way to get that done. There's more. There's the county parties have to have plans and robust ground games and fundraising and have the ability to assist their candidates. The state party has to craft messaging that works in all spaces. The candidates need to be able to go into those communities, do the hard work, create the relationships, create the trust to get these folks to vote for you. It's multifaceted. It's not one thing or another. Now, I am going to say this and I mean it. Marion County, we didn't do our job. And I say we because I'm a part of it. I'm a PC. We didn't do enough to energize our people. We did it. But I'm not going to put it all on us. There was a lot of other stuff that went down that nobody wants to address. They don't want to talk about it. How many more times do you have to hear from people in, urban areas saying, why y'all wait 6 weeks to come talk to me? Y'all take us for granted. You don't show up and talk to us. How many more ways do you have to hear that? This is not a diss. And I need you to understand, this is not a diss to rural Indiana. We're talking about two things can be true. You can talk to rural Indiana, but you better turn out and energize your base. And you better be speaking to the issues that matter to black and brown people of Marion County, Lake County, St. Joe County, Vanderburgh County, Allen County too. If you want to turn out those votes. Some of y'all don't get that. Some of y'all want to be in your feelings. Some of y'all just the fact that I said that gonna be mad at me tomorrow. And I wrote it too. Guys, here's the thing. I want the next party chair to give a damn. And I'm not saying that Mike Schmuel didn't. He did. But not just, there are a lot of people, I'm finna say something, and it's really get ready to I already know there's gonna be people mad at me. There's people on that Central Committee don't do shit. There are people on that Central Committee, I have not seen them do a thing. They just own it. Why? Why be there? If you're not going to do anything, if you're not going to motivate people to get involved, if you're not going to recruit candidates, if you're not going to host fundraisers, if you're not going to do anything, if you're not going to send out an email, a fundraising email, why are you there? Why? Why are you there? To hold on to some perceived power? Huh? I remember back in 2021, we were coming off of Me Too, coming off of Black Lives Matter, and I was advocating for, look, we need a woman or a person of color, if for no other reason than representation. We need that People need to feel like there's an opportunity for us to change and move forward and do something different, or that we actually are listening. I wasn't asked back as deputy chair. It's okay. All the work that I did, I get to do for Act Blue now, and I get paid. And they actually appreciate me. So I'm good. That being said, guys, there's so much that we can do to help each other be better. I am excited about working with Mary Noon and Mark Gavard and some of the other folks that we've been working with over the last year or so. You look for more stuff. I'm looking for collaborative stuff because no one entity can do everything. So we need to pull our resources together, and we're already working on it. Like with the stuff that Rima Shahid and Ariel Brandy are working on. There are a lot of us out here that are doing the work. We're going to pull together that platform. So when you have questions about things or who's doing what or how something should be done, you're going to be able to find it quickly. And I'm really excited about that. And Turn Left is going to be a part of it. And I'm going to get my guy, Miguel Hampton, down in Jeffersonville to get involved too, because he's brilliant. You know, the Snide Report, brilliant. There's enough of us out here that we don't need other people to tell our stories. We can tell it ourselves. Each of us in all these different pockets of the state. And I get that y'all want a simple, unifying slogan. No, I'd rather us be authentic and speak to our communities and talk about how we in the party can help them. One of the things I tell people all the time is when you're a candidate and you're out talking to your constituents, ask them what their pain points are. Instead of telling them what you're going to do, ask them what bothers them. And then after they tell you what bothers them, and even if you don't have the answer right off, go back and look at the policies that are impacting that thing that's bothersome to them and tell them who introduced it. Or if there's a way to improve it and somebody introduced something that can improve it, tell them who did that. Because it's all about policy. The party, elected officials, our state house, everything that's happening in Indiana is because people ain't paying attention. I get it. Some people got to work 2 jobs to keep food in their bellies and roof over their kids' heads. I get that. But those of us that have the freedom of movement and can do this work, then we need to step up and do it. And if I hear one more again, somebody say what the party did or did not do, look your ass in the mirror and say, what did I do? Because everybody in the party, with the exception of the state party chair, is a volunteer. I know y'all think everybody getting paid. Ain't nobody getting paid in the Indiana Democratic Party except for there is staff that gets paid, right? The executive director, the staff gets paid. But as far as like all the people y'all be thinking about, the district chairs, county chairs, only person that gets paid, state party chair. Everybody else are volunteers. But I need the volunteers to do some work. Do what you do best. So here we are, season 8, y'all. Season 8 of Turn Left. Been doing this for 8 years. Season 8. First episode of 2025. A non-election year, a rebuilding year, a networking year, a year for us to come together and figure out what we want for the future of our state and how we want to improve lives and bring the skill sets that each of us has to this movement. Because otherwise, we'll be Arkansas in a minute. We'll be Arkansas with professional sports teams, at least, and conventions. That's what saves us. Yeah, I know. Indianapolis, right? Imagine. That's why Republicans want Indianapolis so bad. They can't have it, though. Y'all, I first of all, I thank y'all for tuning in and telling your friends and sharing this information. I love doing this work. I love working for Act Blue. I love all the things that I get to do as a part of electing people that are going to improve lives. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here with my big mouth, doing my thing. But I get to live my best life working for Act Blue. I have asked, and you guys would love this, I have asked the CEO of my organization if I could interview her. We haven't scheduled it. We haven't talked about it in a minute. But once you hear from her, You will be blown away. I love intelligent people. I love intelligent people, and she is by far one of the smartest. In fact, when I told my partner Nicole this, when I talked to her, when I talked to the CEO of ActBlue, it's like talking to Nicole. It's they are both so intelligent and heady. I get the same mental reaction when I talk to, and it's great. I mean, it's so cool. Like, it's the coolest thing. You know, I love people who are brilliant and make me think, and she's one of them, and I'm excited. So, guys, yeah, here we are, season 8 of Turn Left. I couldn't thank you enough for taking time out of your day to listen in and share with your friends. We're going to keep on doing this. I'm going to keep on talking about this stuff. I'm going to keep on making noise, and I'm going to keep on getting under people's skin. You know who you are. All right, I will holler at y'all next week. Peace.
Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions. Executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by www.bensound.com.